Airports have a strange trick. You arrive there to leave, but before they let you leave, they make you walk through a mall, perfume, watches, designer bags, all before you reach the gate. There is a $6,000 handbag sitting in a glass window right next to your boarding gate. And you start to wonder, why does every modern airport feel less like a transport station and more like a giant shopping mall with airplanes attached? Today, I want to use a finance lens to answer this question. Because once you see what an airport really sells, you cannot unsee it. Here is the simple truth most travelers never think about. Airports are not really in the airline business. They are in the real estate business. Planes bring people, shops make money. The runway is the customer acquisition channel. The mall is the business model. An airport is one of the most efficient customer acquisition machines ever created. Every flight delivers thousands of pre-qualified consumers, people with money to spend, time to kill, and limited options. Then, the airport monetizes those people through duty-free shops, restaurants, hotels. So, the airport is not really a transport hub with shops attached. It is closer to a shopping mall with a transport hub attached. Let me show you what this looks like in plain financial language. Most airports earn money from two main streams. The first is called aeronautical revenue. That is what airlines pay: landing fees, aircraft parking fees, terminal use charges. These revenues are important, but they are often regulated, competitive, and not especially high margin. The second stream is called non-aeronautical revenue. That is everything else: retail, food and beverage, parking, advertising, lounges, hotels, real estate, even space rented to banks and car rental companies. Across many of the world's busiest airports, non-aeronautical revenue often makes up a very large share of total income. Industry benchmarks often put it around 40 to 60% at major airports. Here's the key point: it usually carries much higher margins. That means at many top airports, a large part of the profit does not come from flying things. It comes from selling things. Hong Kong International, Singapore Changi, London Heathrow, Incheon, Dubai International. They all rely heavily on non-aeronautical income. Some airports earn enormous sums from major duty-free and retail contracts. When you look at airports this way, the strategy becomes obvious. Maximize the time and money each passenger spends on the ground. Everything else flows from there. So, how did airports become so good at this? There are 4 reasons. Each reason is a small business lesson on its own. Reason 1: retail is high margin. The airport business is global, competitive, and structurally low margin. Selling perfume at duty-free is very different. The product is small, the margin is high, storage is easy, the shop closes at midnight and opens again at 5 in the morning. Customers arrive already sorted by income, age, destination, and travel purpose. It is a dream retail environment. Singapore Changi is the textbook example. Most travelers know Changi as one of the world's best airports, but it is also a powerful retail machine. Jewel Changi opened in 2019. It sits between the terminals. It has shops, restaurants, gardens, and a 40-meter indoor waterfall called the Rain Vortex. It is beautiful, but beauty is not the whole point. Some passengers arrive hours early just to spend time there, and when they spend time there, they also spend money there. Singapore did not build Jewel only as a courtesy to travelers. It built a profit and loss statement made of glass, steel, and water. Reason 2: captive customers are the dream customers. In retail, there is an old problem. How do you get the customer through the door? Airports solve that problem almost perfectly. Once you pass security, you cannot easily leave. You cannot drive to another mall. You cannot compare prices across town. You have time, at least 1 hour, sometimes 3, sometimes more. And you are not in a normal emotional state. You may be excited about a holiday, anxious about a delay, tired from a connection, hungry, bored, a little stressed. Your normal defense against impulse buying is quietly weaker. This is why airport retail works. Pre-flight passengers often spend more impulsively than they would in a normal shopping street. Some industry studies suggest the difference can be meaningful, not because travelers suddenly become irrational, but because the airport changes the context, and context changes behavior. This is why major Asian airports have luxury boutiques inside the terminal. Hong Kong, Haneda in Tokyo, Incheon in Seoul, Singapore. You see brands like Chanel, Cartier, Rolex, and many others. Luxury brands love airports because the passengers walking past are often wealthier, more emotional, and more willing to treat themselves than a normal crowd downtown. If you sell aspiration, an international terminal is almost the perfect store. Reason 3. Airport design is engineered for spending. Next time you walk through a major airport, pay attention. Almost nothing is accidental. After security, you usually do not walk straight to your gate. You walk through retail first. This is called the walk-through duty-free model. London Heathrow Terminal 5 helped make it famous. Many major airports have adopted versions of it. The path is designed so shopping does not feel optional. It becomes part of the journey. Escalators are placed to manage the flow of people. Gate information may appear later than you expect. So instead of rushing to the gate, you browse. Comfortable seating is often close to shops and food courts. Even bathroom placement can become part of the spending design. The point is simple. The more you move, the more you see. The more you see, the more likely you are to buy. This is architecture serving the profit and loss statement. The shape of the terminal is the shape of the business model. Most travelers never notice. That is the point. Good design makes you spend without feeling that you have been guided. Reason 4. Airports are cities now, not just transport stations. The big airports stopped thinking like simple terminals a long time ago. They now operate like small cities. They monetize hotels, conference centers, offices, cargo terminals, retail districts, and commercial property nearby. Dubai earns from hotels and lounges that operate 24 hours a day. Hong Kong International rents out major cargo facilities that generate revenue around the clock. Incheon has built shopping districts and convention space around the airport economy. Even smaller airports now lease land for warehouses, e-commerce sorting centers, and data centers. If you imagine airport revenue as a pie, passenger shopping is only one slice. The rest comes from companies paying for proximity, fast cargo, easy logistics. Business travelers who want to land, meet, and leave without going downtown. So, the modern airport is not just infrastructure. It is infrastructure, plus mall, plus landlord, plus logistics platform. The flights are only the entry point. Now, I want to be honest about the trade-off, because no business model is free. Once airports decided to optimize for spending, the experience changed. Quiet waiting spaces became harder to find. Free seating became smaller. Charging stations often moved closer to paid lounges, shops, or food areas. The places where a tired traveler could simply sit and rest without buying anything started to disappear. The financial logic is simple. Empty space does not pay rent. Resting passengers do not generate transactions. So, terminals were redesigned around movement and consumption, not stillness, not rest. There is a real cost to this. Travel is already exhausting. And when the whole airport is engineered to extract money from your tiredness, something human gets lost. The modern airport is not designed only to move you, it is designed to hold you, slow you down, and make every minute commercially useful. So, next time you find yourself paying $9 for a coffee at Gate 23, remember something. You are not just a passenger, you are the revenue model. The runway brings you in. The mall is the reason you stayed. Airports learned a long time ago that flying people is hard. Selling to them is easier. And they built their entire business around that insight. One quick note. This is my personal take. If you see things differently, trust your own view. I am here to share a perspective, not a verdict. I am curious. What is your favorite airport in the world? And what does it sell better than anywhere else? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.